Peoples, it's your girl Lola Grace, once again checking in your space, not too much in your face, this wonderful, glorious, and beautiful new year, 2021. Just want to give a shout out to all my supporters, all those who have been following me, and whoever you are that has come across this channel. I just hope that this 2021 is a very blessed year for you. I hope it's by far better than 2020. And I hope that all the wishes and the good goals that you have in store come to pass. Now, on this special edition of Lola Grace, Raw, Uncut, and Unfiltered, on this political edition, I am basically pretty much politicking for the Democratic candidates for Senate, Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff. Now, if you all have been following the race, you know that there was a runoff as a result of the November elections, as a result of those elections not having either candidate secure up to 51% of the electoral vote. So due to the fact that neither candidate on the Democratic or Republican side, were able to muster up 51% of the vote, there is a runoff. And this runoff is very critical for multiple reasons. One reason being due to the fact that there are currently 50 seats in the Senate that are Republican as opposed to the 48 seats that are Democratic. Now, we know, people, that, with these 2 seats up for grabs, that leaves, a 50-50 split, meaning there's not really, the Republicans will not have the majority. And as we know with, with President-elect Joe Biden in office, he will definitely need as many Democratic seats as possible to actually get done the wonderful policies and innovative policies that him and VP-elect Kamala Harris have in store. So people, this runoff election, as you all know, is important for several reasons. One of those reasons being due to the current state and health of this nation, our economy. And as a result of coronavirus, we have 338,000 deaths, American deaths in the U.S. alone, recorded as a result of this pandemic. We also have 19.4 million cases, where we can only hope and pray that those cases don't also translate into deaths. We have only 2.6 million vaccines administered so far, which is a far, far, far cry short of the 20 million that the current administration, the Trump's administration, aimed to, administer before the end of last year, December 31, 2020. So in order to do what we can and need to do for the health and stability of not only ourselves and our families, but also for this country, I urge and I really, really advocate for all those living in Georgia to vote. And you can vote for whoever you want to vote for, but as a bi-coastal resident that resides in both the PA and the GA, I am advocating for John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock because, they are very passionate about the working class, the working poor, the marginalized, and those people in which have just really seemed as though their rights have been trampled upon as a result of the middle class shrinking, as a result of unfair policies, as a result of unfair legislation. Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, people, they really have a plan, a progressive plan to fight against big businesses in Washington and fight for the working class people, everyday people just like you and I. Now, they're a vibrant team. They are a brilliant team, an educated team, and a competent team. And I will tell you, people, Just say that I called it up front. I'm calling them the future of the Democratic Party. And one day, do not be surprised, people, if you see this ticket running for as a presidential ticket again for the presidency of the United States of America. They are the future, people. They are seriously the future. Now, a little bit of the background on Raphael Warnock. He came from very humble beginnings, as did John Ossoff. And as opposed to the Republican candidates running for Senate, their background is really dealing with big businesses and Washington interests. Both of the Republican candidates running, I'm not going to say their names, but both of the Republican candidates running come from a business background and a background of wealth and power. Now, as opposed to Raphael Warnock, who comes from humble beginnings and whose family always believed in the dignity of working hard, loving your friends and family members and fellow man, and just being a nice, decent, honest citizen. Now, he is currently the pastor of the very historic Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, which is historic also because that was the church that the great Martin Luther King Jr. pastored while he was around. Now, he came to prominence by being a major voice campaigning for Medicare, Medicaid, and to expand those institutions, and to also defend Obamacare and to make sure that Obamacare is not scraped but improved. So he was a leading voice and advocate of that, and he still continues to be a leading voice and advocate of that, in which that is one of his main pillars or issues in which he is running for as senator. He hopes to improve the state of healthcare in Georgia and expand reproductive rights as well as rights for mental health for all Georgia residents. You know, another one of his pillars that affects everyone is voting rights. He wants to make sure that everyone's vote is heard. He wants to make sure that everyone's vote is secure, that the ballot is secure. The late, great John Lewis literally said that while he was alive, while he was campaigning on the trail with John Ossoff, he literally said that this man is smart, brilliant, and has the energy to take us to a better place. People, will you allow him and Warnock to take you and to take this country to a better place? We cannot continue to leave it in the hands of Republicans, people. We have too much at stake. John Ossoff is also endorsed by leading Democrats such as Barack and Michelle Obama, Sarah Abrams, and even Whoopi Goldberg. I'm not saying Whoopi Goldberg is Democratic or Republican, but Whoopi Goldberg even endorsed him, quote unquote, by saying that he is a fabulous candidate. People, let's take this runoff election very seriously if you live in the state of Georgia. People, we cannot leave it to chance. President-elect Joe Biden needs all the help and support he can get to implement the wonderful, greatly influential and life-changing policies and legislation that he has in store. People, voting January 5, Tuesday, this 5th of January, in this year of 2021, is when the runoff election is taking place. People, be there or be square. You gotta be there, people. You gotta be there. So if you are in Georgia and you have not yet voted, I urge you to make that vote and make your vote count, because your vote will count. I mean, the last Democrat lost the seat by roughly, 23,000 or so votes? People, People, let's make the difference in Georgia. Let's make the difference in Georgia. Yeah, so basically voting rights. They also want to extend voting rights, and make sure that, people cannot compromise the elections, because the democratic institution is one of the most powerful institutions in the world, based on the fact that it supports basic human rights. Once again, I'm getting to the fact that basic human rights are things that the Democratic Party really stands for. Whether it's in reproductive rights, whether it's due to sexual orientation, who you decide to love, who you decide to marry, whether it's socioeconomic rights, whether it's education, which they are also an ardent supporter of, making sure that all students, no matter where they live, have access to excellent education so that they can use that as a bridge to get them over the edge and onto greener pastures, people. The Democratic Party is in support of the underdog, pretty much. The people who need that support and that help to allow them to achieve their dreams due to the fact that they were given unfair chances from the onset. They were not given trust funds, mutual funds, of anything that were just probably looked over. Even if they qualified for jobs, it may have been looked over because of their name or because of the color of their skin or because of their accent or the way they talked. So, the Democratic Party, pretty much, people, it's the party of the underdog. And I am a person who believes in the fight of the underdog, getting people over the edge who ordinarily would not even been given a second look. You have to believe in people, because once you believe in people, that will show you that yes, they actually have it in them. They have the potential to succeed. They just need the help to get over, the bridge and on to greener pastures. So people, like I said again, November 5, 2021, what a way to begin the new year, by making sure that the Republicans are not in power in the Senate, because so much can and needs to be done in 2021 and beyond, people. We're starting 2021 with a clean slate. Let's allow the number of coronavirus cases to go down, and the number of the number of vaccine dosages to go up. So let's do what we need to do, people. And once again, I'm calling it. Say that Lola Grace called it. Go on ahead and say that Lola Grace called it. That Raphael, Warnock, and John Ossoff are a future presidential ticket for the Democratic Party, people. 2021, I called it. I believe in them. They are the future, people. So will you believe in them as well and take that step to get us all over the edge and on to greener pastures, not only as a Democratic Party, but as the American people. So I pray and I hope that this year is wonderful for you all, no matter who you vote for. But you all already know who I'm advocating for: John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock. And as always, gotta know that you will love. Peace. Lola Grace.